What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to video 21. I can't believe you made it so far already. And here is what we're learning today, how to actually put that one-point perspective formula we learned last video into practice. We're going to learn how to draw a scene that uses all the same rules that we did last time. If you didn't watch that video last time, you gotta go watch it. But I do explain it a little bit this time as well. So let's get to it. Hello everybody, Dees here, coming to you with the next in the long line of drawing lessons that I'm coming out with this year. Trying to take you all the way from the most basic all the way to everything that I know how to teach you so that you can have the right tools to be able to practice and get as good as you want to and really improve how realistic and how good that your drawings look. So, last time we learned about the basics of one-point perspective. Today I'm going to teach you about how to actually draw something using one-point perspective, which is a fun project that I've done for a lot of years in my class. People really like it, and it helps to kind of click your brain over into reality from how do I use this thing that I just learned. So we are going to be doing what is called a street drawing today, and I'm just going to run through the exact same steps as I did last time on how we do the one-point perspective. We're going to start by drawing the horizon line. So just very lightly. You want a nice line that shows where the eye line of your viewer is going to be. This is the first thing you do because you need to have your vanishing point in place. I'm going to put mine somewhere towards the middle. I'm going to label it VP. You do not need to do that because at the end you're going to want to erase this and everything, but I'm doing it just to help you be able to see the best that you can see and be able to understand the best that you can understand. So what am I going to start with? I am going to start with the front edge of a building. So in other words, if this was my building, this is a skyscraper, I'm going to start off with the front edge. And over time you'll see the sides and things going back in space of that, but you're going to start off by drawing the front edge. Now you'll see right here, just like it is on mine, sometimes you can't see the whole thing. I might draw some like that sometime, I might not, I might let it get cut off by the page, but right now I think I'm going to start off by drawing just the front edge, and then I'll show you how to figure out the rest of it. So this is going to be a building. I'm going to use a ruler in order to do that. I'm going to have the bottoms of my building right about here. It's going to be about that far away from the edge. Then I'm going to have my building stand nice and tall. Maybe even a little bit above my eye point line so that I can tell that it's tall. I'm going to have it go over, parallel to the bottom. And then I'm going to cut it off a little short of the edge. Then erase all the extra. Now, here's the thing. Can you see through a building? No. So this speck here, that would be this horizon line that would be behind my building, that is also something extra that I need to erase. Taking my time, really using my eraser as an art supply, and thinking about it like a pencil. You don't ever just throw your pencil down on the paper and start scribbling it around all over the place. You think about where the tip's going to go and where it's going to make a mark. Think of the same thing with your eraser. Where is my eraser going to go and lighten things up? Time to make it into a 3D building. So what do I do for that? I make sure that I'm not crossing over top of my original shape, but if I can, I connect one corner at a time to the vanishing point. So go from the vanishing point to the corner. Would this line right here cross over the rectangle? No, it would not. So I can draw it lightly, because you're going to erase later. Lightly. How about this one right here? From the top corner to the vanishing point. That looks like it's all outside the rectangle, so that's fine by me. Outside the rectangle, I'm going back. Okay, how about this one? Could I draw this one? This one, if I drew it, it would go through the rectangle. I can't do that. How about this back one? I think you probably already know the answer. So, what do I have? I have a building that goes straight back. I'm going to draw this kind of like, have you ever been to a strip mall? A place where there's a whole bunch of stores attached, one next. I'm going to draw this kind of like that. So what I'm going to do is because this is bigger and closer to me. We learned earlier in perspective videos about position and about size, that the closer something is to me, the bigger it is. So the first section I'm going to make go the furthest back. And I'm going to cut it off with a parallel line to this. Cut it off. And the next one's going to be a little bit smaller, parallel line. Next one a little bit smaller, parallel. You see? You'll be able to watch. So what I do is I start off with this one. Line it up right there perfectly. Try to keep it as perfect as I can. Slide it back until this is where I want this store to end. Make sure it's still parallel. Looks good to me. Draw lightly. Connect with my ruler. Let's see. Okay. And I erase the extras. Burp, 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 burp. Beep, beep, beep. Right now, that one was that wide. The next one's going to be a little skinnier than that. A little bit skinnier. Draw my line. The next one's a little bit skinnier. Draw my line. The next one. And I think that's going to be the last one, and I will erase the rest of them. Alright, now I got to erase this line that goes through the middle of all my shapes too, because it's covered up now. You'll notice in the end, you probably are not going to have all that much of your horizon line showing. But having just this little bit out here, a little bit in here, a little bit out there, it will matter a lot, I promise. Alright, now, what if I want to add a door? Can I just draw a rectangle and get it cut off by the bottom? Does that look right? Or does this line look like it needs some help? Yeah, that line needs some help. So I'm going to show you how to do a sign and a door. And I'd like you to try at least one sign, at least one door when you're doing your version of this project. A door could be a window too if you want it to be. But now, we're drawing something that's flat on the side of the building. It's going back with the side of the building. So all I have to do is draw the front edge. How tall do I want my door to be? Make sure that it's parallel to the side, because it is a door. Usually that's how they work. I want it to be this tall. Now what do I need to connect that to? You're right. I absolutely need to connect the top corner of that to this vanishing point. Now you're going to watch me do something here. I'm not going to draw my line the whole way, because I know it's not going to go through all my stores. I'm going to line it up perfectly from here to here, but then I'm just going to draw up against the ruler a little short line. I know it's longer than I need, but it doesn't have to go all the way back. I'm just saving myself some erasing time. And now I decide how far back do I want this door to go. Keep the back edge parallel to the front edge, probably right about there. Draw that parallel. Cut it off at the very bottom. Erase the extra. Bada boom. That one looks a little more like it's going. And I could do the same thing back here. It's just going to be skinnier than it was and tall and shorter than it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a nice tall, extra tall line for the front. Keep it parallel. A nice extra tall line for the back. I'm drawing these light because part of this is going to get erased. So that's what I got right now. And then I'm going to line up with the top of this door. Top of my first door. And I'm just going to continue that line going like this. From one edge to the other. Erase the extra that I have. And you got yourself a door. You could even do it one more time, if you don't mind making it really skinny. Keep on that same line. And this one doesn't have to be quite so perfect because we know that it is further away and we lose some details. And then this last one might even be just kind of a shape off in the distance that looks like it would fit in there. Alright, beautiful, beautiful. If I wanted a sign on the front of here, I would just draw a rectangle, because that's a nice flat shape facing towards us, right? But I might want a sign up here. So I start with the front edge, then I connect that front edge back to my vanishing point. Same thing works if you wanted like a fancy design element on your building. You would draw it the same way. Start with the front edge and then bring it back. back. Again, I'm lining it up. I do that really quick because I've done this a million times, but I'm lining right up with the bottom of that line or right with the vanishing point. Sometimes you got to wiggle it around a little bit to get it done. And again, I'm not going all the way back because I only want this on the front store. So now I just got to decide how far back I want it to go and make it parallel to the front. So start off lined up with the front, slide it straight back till about where you want it to go. Cut it off. And you got yourself a sign. Some people also then, if they wanted to write something, they would divide this into bigger, smaller pieces so they could fit the letters into little boxes on there. I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. So now we have done one side of the street. If we wanted to, we could make it so there was, as long as it's parallel to the top and parallel to the bottom, we can give it a nice window on the front edge, make it parallel to the edge, and parallel to the edge. And we got ourselves a nice window. Maybe I want to show that there's a window ledge, so I'm going to go from here, again straight. All lines should be straight up and down, parallel, or connected to the vanishing point. So I go in there, I got that little corner on the inside of the window, and then I'm going to go parallel to my edge of the building. And I'm going to go down here from that same corner, parallel to the bottom edge of the building. And now I got myself a nice shiny window. With a little place where if they wanted to have, you know, a mannequin displayed in there, they could. Now we got to go to the other side of the street. I'm going to do this one. It's going to be a nice, really big, tall building. I'm actually going to connect. I want my two bottom edges to be even, so I'm going to connect straight across. Give myself a little guideline right there. This one's going to be big. This one's going to go all the way off the edge of the page. And it's going to be tall too. Almost to the very top of the page. You could even go off the top of the page if you wanted to. And parallel to the top of the page for a nice flat roof. Boom. And then off the edge again. Now I know that all this is going to disappear, right? Yes. Alright, and we know that my big front edge is going to go right from the corner to the vanishing point. And the same thing with the top edge of my building. Going to go from the corner to the vanishing point. Drawing this lightly because I know I'm going to erase some of it later. Decide how far back that I want it to go and make it parallel to this edge. I want this to be really big building. Then I can erase the extra and the extra that's inside of here that would be getting blocked out. You see I had to add back in that little bit of horizon line back there. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that my stuff is happening inside of a real deal place. So that horizon line helps realize that it's sitting on land, that it goes back in space. It's a lot better to have a horizon line and fit something into it, as we've talked about through a lot of these videos, than it is to make it look like it's just floating. Okay, and this, I'm going to say, has no sign, no windows. This is a giant warehouse. And let's see, we're going to say it has one big door. I'm going to make this straight up and down. One big door. It's this tall. It's almost the height of the other buildings. This is where we'll say this is where they pull up the trucks. Connect this one down to the vanishing point. Just like everything. If it's not straight up and down, and it's not parallel, it's going to the vanishing point. Stop close to the back, and draw a parallel with the back edge, straight up and down. And if I wanted to, I could line up here with the vanishing point and come back here, a little farther away from my corner back here. And that's my sidewalk. Then if I just do a parallel line going back around the back corner, or I'm sorry, parallel with my with the bottom of the front of my building, make it parallel. Then you see it looks like it turns the corner back there. And then down here I can do the same thing, make it parallel with the bottom of the corner, have it go off the front. And we got ourselves a little sidewalk, and we'll say this one doesn't have a sidewalk, because they don't want you to go on the sidewalk, because this place is big and scary. I mean, this is a fulfillment center or something like that. So, what could I do now? I could take this sign and write, Dave's awesome town of amazing things and coolest stuff. I could put some stuff in this window. I could design this door. I could decorate. I could make it look like there have bricks. I could make it look like there's a zombie warfare going out here in the street. What I'm showing you is how to make it look like you have a street with buildings on it with 1-point perspective. What your job is now, your job as the artist, is to take this, shade it according to the things that you've learned how to do, add things into it, make it your own personal artwork. It can tell a story. It could be a place you've always wanted to go to. It could be a place you see if you're on a trip with your family or something like that, or a trip by yourself. Why would I say that people have to go on trips with their family? I love going on trips by myself. You don't have to be with your family. You could just be by yourself with a sketchbook and say, hey, look at that building out that window. I'm going to draw that. Whatever you want to do. Copy something that you see. Copy a picture of something. Make up a total fantasy thing. I want to see you practice this once or twice, and then I want to see you turn it into a real artwork where with like a story going on that kind of illustrates what's happening through the visual literacy of pictures. You are going to practice this a lot, and you're eventually going to get it right, and then you're going to be ready to move on to 2-point perspective. This is a great thing to learn. Don't move on until you've got it right. Watch this video as many times as you need. I know that I talk quick. I try to repeat everything a few times. Pause, rewind, redo until you have this locked in your brain, and don't skip ahead. Because a lot of people have problems with this. Don't move on until you got it straight. I believe in you. Don't forget to, smash a like, subscribe, etc., etc. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big homework. I want you to practice this twice. I want you to practice what we just learned in this video. Rewind, pause, whatever you need. Practice twice, and then I want you to flip the page one more time and turn that into a beautiful, finished artwork. Make it the greatest you can make it. Hopefully you can get all the way finished with it, get it shaded in every way, add details, add textures, whatever you need to do, and make it look absolutely gorgeous. And if it could tell a story, art is always better when it tells a story. Alright, get it done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last thing that I wanted to say. This is going to be at the end of every video, I do believe. When you are done with your homework, take it on over to the Discord and turn it into the art submissions. We want to see what you're working on. I will pop in from time to time, usually around 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't get weirded out by that. And I will give you feedback on the work that you have done. So make sure that you check the link below so that you can get to our Discord and you can join these submissions and start putting your art out there for people to see, give you feedback, help you get better at. I got a bunch of artists that have already gone through my class that hang out in there, and if you think you're going to do something funky, you're not, because my mods are going to get you. You understand what I'm saying? I might be a boomer, but my mods are powerful zoomers. I'm not challenging you, though. Please don't mess with please, just be nice. Just do the artwork.